はい、どうも皆さんこんにちは、ライクです。本日もですね、こちら、シャーロック・ホームズやっていきたいと思います。前回は、そう、なんか、変な中国みたいな、その神聖なる組合に行って、今回はまたちょっと、匂いをくんかくんかしてもらうために、はい、トビ行くよ。
Come on, Toby. We have some work for you to do. Let us go to Kew Gardens.
よしよし、行こう。旧植物園。観光や。そうか、これモリアーティとの話じゃないんだよね。黄色の研究とかさ、あればいいのにね。長えな。
Let us take Toby to the laboratory. He will pick up the scent of this mysterious substance. Search, Toby. Search.
あったあったあったあった。こっから行って、こっち行って、どこ行ってるのかな。もうまっすぐ行ったね。おやおや。そっちが行きますか。ここか。
Congratulations, Toby. Now let us see what you have found.
何？
This is the bottle that was used in the laboratory. It was buried here. There is still some liquid remaining in the bottle, with gold flakes. A tiny caterpillar. Not surprising to see one in a garden, but at the bottom of a bottle.
これはじゃあ一回持ち帰って研究だな。よし、分析しようか。一旦帰るわ。デーカー街。抜ける。薬品研究しようか。
Let us determine just what we have found here. Let us pour liquid from the bottle into a test tube to perform an analysis. This is the bottle.
これか。取って、ここに入れようか。取って、
A colorless, water-based liquid. Quite a strong floral aroma.
おう。花の香りと。
Holmes? What are you doing?
It has a bitter taste.
What if it's poisonous?
Did you ever see poison stored in enormous jars like that? Anyway, there is a doctor nearby.
So what do you think it is?
It is some kind of organic compound. Let us vaporize the liquid and see what happens.
シュバー。なんだねこれは。
Small colorless crystals. Colorless, tiny crystals that are soluble in water, with a floral smell and a bitter taste. Watson, could you pass me that small bottle, please?
Of course. Here you are. Holmes, do you know what it is?
Wagner's reagent. There was a label on the bottle that you passed to me.
No, Holmes, I meant the bottle that we found.
Let me add the reagent and see if there is any sediment, and then I shall tell you.
これを吸って、
Red sediment, just as I suspected. This liquid is of organic origin. It contains some alkaloid. Most likely it is unstable, and that is why there is a quantity of gold dust to prevent contamination. This mixture is probably a fertilizer. Someone was carrying out unusual experiments in the garden's laboratory.
ほうほう。庭師の研究室で何かやっていたと。実験の準備をすると。致命的な殺人。これか。
According to the deadly plants information, in order to perform our experiment, we will need fertilizer and food. Caterpillars should do nicely.
あるものが必要。
According to the deadly plants information, in order to perform our experiment...
餌。科学実験室がアルカールとイモムシを入手。9。じゃあ組合ではないでしょ。ただまあ長い。来た。科学研究室。だからこっち側のあれか。科学実験室。違うよな。どこにあるかい？これもしかして神聖な組合説あるな。神聖なる組合か。組合に行ってみよう。この前吸ってきたはずだけどな。前回なんかパクったような気がしないでもないけど。まあ行ってみようか。ラゲゴマ。こっちだな。これか。
This substance is an alkaloid, the same as in the bottle we found in the bushes at Kew Gardens. Perfect, Watson. We can begin our experiment.
よしよしよしよし。これで帰れる。ワッソンくん、ちょっと触りたく困るよ、ベーカー街。ベーカー街。続けよう。よしよしよしよし。
I imagine that one of these plants would be capable of releasing a toxic vapor. I need to find out exactly how it could be done. I shall begin now. Watson, if you are at all optimistic to have dinner this evening, then I'd recommend that you put on the gas mask.
どうこ
This
れは
plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid.
ほうほ
This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid.
う。パパパこれは
It appears to open after being soaked with alkaloid.
ファーでなんか出してきそう。そこに置いてみよう。お前が来んかい。
It closed again. I believe I saw a small cloud of gas. I wonder what secrets this plant is hiding. Perhaps if we agitate it to a greater extent whilst it is opened, it will reveal a little more.
置いて、これあるでしょ。で、
It appears to open after being soaked with alkaloid. No reaction.
No reaction.
This plant becomes inactive.
パッパってなる。もう一回。
This plant becomes no reaction.
置き換えて、これと置き換えてみようか。で、
This plant seems to have had no reaction from the caterpillars.
じゃあ置いてみようか。お前が来るんかよ。おい。
Toxic gas with spores. Extraordinary. The plants would be capable of killing only if they were directly next to the victim and stimulated at precisely the right moment.
Let us take our caterpillars to the Colonial Collection Room. We may see things more clearly there.
It is too early, Watson. Our suspects will be there. Let us investigate Kew Gardens one more time and ask some questions.
どれどれ。こうか。週刊の企み、強破。まあ関係しないんじゃないかな。だって盗まれて、向こうはもうだって盗まれたとか言ってたし。一旦じゃあ向こうまた聞き込み行くか。パカラパカラパカラパカラ。長えんだよな、相変わらずここのことが。 ケー。聞き込みしとこうか。ダンの死亡前。
Can you tell me if you saw Mr. Montague Dunn on the day of his death?
Yes, of course. I met him, and we went to see Albert, his son, at around 9:30. He appeared quite calm.
朝の頃は
What were you doing on the morning of the accident?
After paying multiple visits to Albert, I had a little talk with Miss White. Then I returned to my desk to complete some paperwork. Suddenly, I observed that Mr. Dunn was not feeling well, so I ran immediately to fetch Albert. I clearly remember that it was around 10:30, for I was late that morning.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
次そこ。やっけー、お前だ。死んだ日は
Your father's death does seem highly suspicious. What were your movements here on that day?
Suspicious. Well, I was working in the seed house, taking care of Lysa something, or Lear Pontus, or... No, wait. Ah, these Latin names. And I spend so many hours trying to memorize them.
Did you see your father that day?
Yes, he came here with Mr. Hamish for his weekly visit. There was nothing unusual about that.
And then?
Nothing. They stepped out to the backyard. It was perhaps 20 minutes before 10 o'clock. Then about 10 minutes later, I saw my father heading for the dry tropics room while Mr. Hamish returned here.
Oh.
And Mr. Hamish and Miss White? What were they both doing that morning?
Mr. Hamish visited me a couple of times. I also saw him returning from talking with Miss White, and that was at 10 minutes past 10. But then he ran back here to me to tell me that my father was feeling unwell. We hurried across to the water lily room, and I found my father lying dead on the floor. Oh my God.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
ほう。なんかヘイミッシュの行動なんかおかしいよな。あとはこっち。入れ。こっちや。我が用あるのこっちじゃ。あれあれもう一個奥か。あー、こっちか。いたいた。亡くなった日。
Can you tell me what Mr. Dunn was doing upon the day of his death?
I can, but there is nothing very special to say. I was in the laboratory when I saw Mr. Dunn heading towards me. Tuesday is the day of his weekly visit. It was supposed to be at 9, but he was 10 minutes late, as usual.
And then?
Well, he came in to say good morning. Then I saw him spend 2 or 3 minutes by the plants outside the laboratory. After that, he ran out in the direction of the nursery, where Mr. Hamish was working. He was always in a rush during the inspection, you see. I would pity anyone who stood in his way.
死亡時刻。
And that was the last time you saw him?
Yes. I stayed in the laboratory until 20 minutes to 11, when I heard the cries of Albert and Mr. Hamish from the large glass house. I joined them as soon as I could, for I knew that something must be very wrong.
What exactly were you doing in the laboratory?
I was recording an experiment for my thesis. I only stopped my work once when Mr. Hamish visited me briefly around 10 o'clock.
記録は
You say you were recording an experiment when the tragedy occurred. Might I listen to the roll?
Certainly. Please do. You will find it in the laboratory. It is number 320.
Thank you, miss.
しばらくして。
Everyone has gone, Holmes. The way is clear.
事件の当時の様子を再現してみよう。 胞子を吸い込んで扉を開けました。でふらつきながらで扉が開いた。
When Montague Dunn was standing close by the plants, the caterpillars were released and caused the deadly spores to activate. Panicking, and likely already half asphyxiated, Montague Dunn started back and knocked over the bust. He rushed to the door, but it was locked. He had to force it open with his shoulder. We already know the outcome. Montague Dunn collapsed and died not far from the pool. Well, it is time to perform our experiment on the ventilation system.
換気装置、芋虫を置く。
The caterpillars could only fall from the ventilation duct. Our caterpillars are in place. I'll activate the ventilation system so that they fall down. Watson, stay here and observe.
All right, Holmes.
換気装置は多分こっち側にあるよね。
According...
換気装置はこの上をずっと伝って外に出て出る場所間違えたわ。換気だからこっちだ。開けて開けのさおいさここだ。開始。
The
Power.
power is on. The
Start.
engine cannot be started whilst the transmission is active.
これオフにしよう。でこうだ。
The engine has started.
これでいいかな。
The ventilation system is working. ここには何もないね。とりあえずこれ一回戻ってみるか。ご会長。ご会長。こっちか。
Now we need to see if we can activate the fans from Mr. Hamish's and Albert's space.
何？失敗だと。どういうことだ？換気装置は今のではうまく働いてるはず。あ？なんかこれ止まってるっぽいな。
Excellent. This ventilation fan is
こう
working.
か。
Let us see if I can activate the other one.
なるほどな。ここからこうやってきて、こ この窓、ここの扉を通って、これだな。
Perfect. Now I just need to find Watson to check the result.
It works perfectly, Holmes. Bravo. Now, if you could just help me to get rid of these caterpillars.
Perfect. Now we know how the murder of Montague Dunn was carried out, by activating both Albert's and Mr. Hamish's fans.
But only from Mr. Hamish's workplace would it be possible to see when Montague Dunn entered the Colonial Collection Room.
利用されたヘイミッシュの機械。ヘイミッシュは有罪と。で、ヘイミッシュ逮捕。おーし、捕獲するぞ、ヘイミッ
Let's
シ
go
ュ。
to Scotland Yard.
一旦とりあえずヤード行くか。こっちか。松とか芋虫だらけになってるもしれないな。ん？ヘイミッシュ。ヘイミッシュ。Where？ あれ。一つ先に先行でお前が有罪だよっていうのを伝えてやろうと思ったのに。あれ、いないわ。まあいいわ。ヤード。レストレードくん。
Inspector, I believe that Martin Hamish is guilty of the murder of Montague Dunn.
Aha! I knew it. I'll send the lads around to arrest him.
Very good. I shall wait to hear from you.
しばらくして。パカラパカラパカラパカラパカラパカラ。何があった？読み込みが長えんだよ。
Inspector, I came here as quickly as I could.
Martin Hamish is in the large glass house. There's no need to hurry.
温室？温室ってどこだ？まあまあ多分あれだろうな。
Martin Hamish. Mr. Holmes?
じゃあ温室行こうか。
Holmes, my God!
Yes. We found him like that.
Our messing around with the ventilation system didn't go unnoticed. Mr. Hamish realized that we knew.
Inspector, could you arrange the body, please? I should like to examine it.
調べる。
The mark around the neck is very visible. He died instantly.
自殺したが。
Holmes, his left shoe is unique. This anomaly is often a characteristic of...
A club foot. Bravo, Watson. That is the key element of this case.
なんぼだな。ホワイト論題が地名的指摘したホワイトと知識はあ。じゃあでもホワイト違う。だってホワイトあれじゃんね、なんか大学の人だから、まあこっちでしょ。一応ヘミシは有罪のままと。なんかある。私の人生を生き地獄になってしまった耐え難い苦しみだ談話しに値するとは、私自身に責任があるという事実をどうしても許すことができ、私たちヘイミッシャーはいつもの境遇の犠牲になってしまうと、そう、私自身を例外ではない。私はこの罪滅ぼしをしなくてはならない。今この場でそれをしよう。さようなら。ヘイミッシャーは単独で行動したのかと。頸骨捻転で苦しんでいたと。ほう。走ることはできるようになった。レストレードと話す。間。
Something about this rings very oddly.
Why do you say that, Mr. Holmes?
Why? Because of Mr. Hamish's club foot. Oh, I deserve to be kicked from here to Charing Cross. I should have noticed it.
But, Mr. Holmes, I can't see why.
No, I don't suppose you do. You must recall that Mr. Dunn was locked inside the Colonial Collection Room by the murderer. If it was Mr. Hamish, he would have had to run up to his workplace to trigger the fan situated above it, taking into consideration the condition of his foot.
Well, it is still possible.
Perhaps, but it is rather strange that such a person as Mr. Hamish decided to base his plan on the speed of his gait.
You mean to say that somebody helped him?
So the suicide is questionable?
Correct. Mr. Hamish accuses only himself in his letter, and so the investigation stops.
Possibly an accomplice, then? That idea had not occurred to me, Mr. Holmes.
I have another idea, Inspector. Thanks to the testimony that we have collected, we are able to rebuild the events as they took place that day.
With a timeline, such as we did in the Jack the Ripper case.
Precisely.
The map at the entrance of Kew Gardens should help us with our timeline.
Let us analyze the facts and statements, so that we may recreate the events of that morning.
9時半、9時半に、マーティン・ヒムシュとモータン・アルバートに会いに行った。アルバートは、そうだね。で、ヘイミスとモンタキュー・ダンが裏に出たのは10時20分前だった。その10分後、ダンは点検を再開するために、入り、ダンは点検を再開するために、だからダンは10時30分だね。で、ヘイミッシュは、種に戻ったと。こうか。で、10時20分前。こうか。裏に出て、で、ここからまた別行動を起こした。で、マイティ・ヘイミッシュは10時にホワイトさんと会話した。こうか。で、ホワイトさんは10時40分まで、研究室にいる、いた。こうか。で、これが。10時半くらいだったと。 ヘイミッシュはモンタギューの様子がおかしいのか確認してすぐアルバートに知らせに走った。10時半ぐらいだった。とりあえずこうするか。で、アルバートは朝ずっと、種園にいたと。10時10分過ぎに、ヘイミッシュがホワイトさんを訪れて持ってくるのを確認した。こうか。こうか。これで出来事を再生してみようか。2人で行動します。いや、ダメだな。ここだな。モンタギュー、ここのラインが欠如してる。裏庭に出る。10時10分過ぎに出てくるっていうことは、その問題はその空白の時間だよな。空白の時間に何があったのかっていうのを証明しないといけねえよな。だから裏庭に出るのが裏庭に出るの多分ここら辺じゃないの。裏庭に出てこいつだけ一人行かせた場合ってあれだよね。で立体乾燥園に入れさせて、多分時間を捏造してるんだよ多分。でそうするとヘイミッシュと会話をするでしょここで。で朝で10時10分過ぎにヘイミッシュがホワイトさんを訪ねると、だから戻ってくるのを確認したから、これこうだよ。ここで目撃をするでしょ。で10時半に毒をもらわれて死んだわけだ。10時半くらいだったから。でホワイトさんは水霊温室にいるヘイミッシュとアルバートに合流をする。これであれじゃない？一通り成り立つんじゃないかな。今度は何がダメだ？こういうことではないか？でもそうか。そうすると今度あれが合わねえか。多分最初はここなんだよ。9時半頃あって、 ホワイトさんと話して戻ってくる。ごめん、多分これ違うわ。これこうだわ。話して戻ってくるのを見てるから、これどうだろう。チーン。何があった？
Let us summarize. Montague Dunn was poisoned inside the Colonial Collection Room. He forced open the door, which means that someone locked him inside there at 10:20. Martin Hamish was last seen at 10:10. This means that he has approximately 10 minutes to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room. Given that he was club-footed, it is doubtful. Albert also has 10 minutes to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room, which is quite enough time. Miss White was last seen at 10 o'clock, which means that she had approximately 20 minutes to lock the door. More than enough time.
確かに十分すぎ
Perfect,
るな。
Watson. Now, let us ascertain who assisted Martin Hamish in killing Montague Dunn.
多分ホワイトさんの時系列がおかしいとは思う。おい、だってそう、いや、20分もだって、20分もあったでしょ。それ計画の一つで2つ使えることぐらい簡単じゃね？だってアルバートはだってそもそもだってほらあいつ船だからメインがアルバートはなんか欠けてるっしょ。でアルバートは10分で、食前日さ無理じゃない？20分を取るか10分を取るかって言って俺は20分を取るもん。ホワイトは共犯、まあ、とりあえずあの女共犯しとこうぜ。借金が絶はやばいですか。いやー死刑だね。死だね。
But Holmes, how can you be certain that we'll find Miss White here?
It is obvious, Watson. Just use your brain.
I am using it. I do use it.
Now that the rope has tightened around Martin Hamish, Miss White must act to erase all traces of her implication. After the suicide of her accomplice, there is one final trace remaining, the deadly plants of the Divine Syndicate. She will be there.
Very good. Shall we go?
Just one moment. Now listen to me, Watson. I shall see her alone. You will conceal yourself behind her, quietly.
Whatever are you planning?
Nothing spectacular. The impulses of women have always been a mystery to me. But she is a bold one, and so we must be cautious.
All right. You can count on me, Holmes.
Mr. Holmes, good day to you.
You do not seem surprised, Miss White.
Well, I was expecting you.
Not for too long, I believe. So please tell me, as it is still unclear, who planned the murder? Was it you?
You were wrong, Mr. Holmes.
It was Martin Hamish, then. You managed to convince him to take on a more prominent role.
You could not be further from the truth.
You think that you can fool me?
You don't care what I think.
It is difficult to care about someone who is capable of pushing a man to his suicide. It is over, Miss White. The police will be here any minute.
Over, perhaps. One moment you were here, and the next, you were on the other side.
The other side. No! Stop!
一歩前に出る。
I beg you not to do this, Miss White.
Don't come any closer.
やめてください。
Please remain calm. We can help you.
Not one step further. Don't try to stop me.
やめよ
Stop this foolishness. You cannot truly want to die.
No, it's too late.
う。いきなり始まる QT。OK。
Well done, Watson. She was not faking.
Miss White, you have no right to take your own life.
Dr. Watson? Did you just save me? Or worse?
手がかり22。ホワイト共犯有罪判決。はい、OK、受け入れる。はい。あなた道徳 77%。ほう。半月用の散歩。
Where are you going, Holmes? Have you been invited somewhere?
We have been invited, Watson,
We have. Where to?
to the Baker Street Irregulars' annual dinner. They sent us an invitation. It is on the table.
A dinner? How could those street urchins afford anything like that? I can't understand your interest in them, Holmes. They're dirty. They wouldn't hesitate to steal your wallet. They...
Watson, you should be excited. It is a secret dinner. Its location changes every year. Read the menu. Sounds mouth-watering.
All right. We, the secret police of Baker Street, invite you, Sherlock Holmes, and Dr. Watson to our annual dinner. Menu, entree, frozen rat head salad. Is this a joke?
Not at all. Pray continue.
Main course, sow's udder in Danny Nutcracker's way. Ah, sounds disgusting, Holmes. Hedgehog goulash. Street turnips in homemade juice. And it goes on.
Ah, I can hear them on the stairs now.
Well, we can't go there. We can't eat that.
Watson, you'll hurt the feelings of those poor children. We have to go.
Oh, Mr. Holmes.
It is fine, Mrs. Hudson.
Mr. Holmes.
Wiggins, Dr. Watson is getting ready. He will be delighted to join us. You don't look well, my young man. Is there something wrong? Don't tell me the dinner is cancelled.
Mr. Holmes is my brother Leighton. He's in a prison cell. They say he's killed 2 men. You have to help us, Mr. Holmes, because I know he didn't do it.
Where is he now?
From what I've heard, they took him to the yard, and they gave him a good beating already. You know what they're like. They'll hang him. They won't look any further.
Holmes, we have to help him.
Well, and forget about the dinner. Wiggins, I'll take the case.
You're fantastic, Mr. Holmes. I'll be waiting for you at the crime scene. You'll be there, right? It's on Half Moon Street in Whitechapel.
Very well.
はい。ということで、事件がね、無事解決したので、手紙見てみようか。大実験有毒方法。問題級男子の、殺害を、企てたと。単なる真相をホスタで処理された悲劇の時間で隠された真実を調べる方法。シャーロック・ホームズだと。クロッカー船長。あと3人だね。で、これか。ドン。ホワイトは共犯合ってる。ちゃんと手がかり全て使ったようだ。よかったよかった。よかった。よしよし。じゃあ今回時間の切りがちょうどいいんで、この辺で終わりにしてまた次回は、 アルバートだっけ、アルバートじゃない、ヘミッシュじゃねえや。はい、少年探偵団のね、はい、兄貴を助けに行きたいと思います。ということで、ぜひぜひ、チャンネル登録、コメント、高評価、ツイッターのフォローもお願いします。それでは終わります。じゃあねー。